Welcome to the Just Josh podcast.
Who the fuck is this guy? Hey, who the fuck are you? Huh? Who the fuck are you?
This whole thing is a little weird.
Never you fear, laddie buck.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, of course. I'm amped for it.
Yeah. We got to talk a little bit, but you're a new artist to me. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
One thing I tell everybody when they ask me that question is like, I'm not good at anything else. So I don't play sports. I can't dance for anything that's good for me. I can't do it at all. But I can't, I don't know, it just kind of picked it up. I taught myself how to play and stuff. I've been in choir since kindergarten, so it's just always been around, but I never considered taking it seriously until about like 2 years ago. But I've been playing guitar since I was 12. I'm 18 now, so.
You have a new single that just came out, Deep Dive, right?
Yeah, it's been a ride for sure. It's a thing that's happened really fast. I didn't expect to get like the opportunities I've gotten this soon. And, sometimes I feel a little bad because, I've seen people that I know that it's taken years to get some of these opportunities, but I had a bunch of connections through like Slightly Stupid's photographer. She also does my hair sometimes. And, we've bonded over that. And so she connected me to like Fortunate Youth, Slightly Stupid's manager, who, is consistently following me, which is dope, and Silverback and all that. As far as getting with Ineffable, that thank you to Collie Buds for joining my live one night when I was just randomly singing.
I love him.
He's so cool. Like I didn't expect him to join. Like I saw him like come into my live, but then he like requested to be on the live. I was freaking out because I was in the middle of tuning my guitar from like a really weird tuning, and I was epically failing. I'm like, why is he joining right now? I'm not doing good. But then he like pointed my page out to Adam over at Ineffable, and from then on it was just kind of like a opportunity that came. But that's kind of how I got to where I am now, just getting gigs and building up my following on Instagram and whatnot. So
you played guitar and you started off singing. Now, have you ever taken lessons?
I didn't start taking guitar lessons until I like taught myself, and I was like, oh, I want to learn more. So I went to School of Rock for about 3 years. Maybe.
Oh, that's cool.
And they opened my eyes to like doing shows, because they would do like group shows, and each show would have a theme and stuff like that. So I've learned a lot of like my music taste from there. But yeah, that's like it as far as lessons. I took vocal lessons for like a month while I was there, but it just didn't work out. Like that's like when I was about to leave, it just got expensive. But yeah, I would love to take vocal lessons even at this point in my career. It would be a great help. But yeah, it just hasn't come up yet.
I can play every instrument well. I started off when I was younger. My dad took me to concerts, and I played piano at like 3 or 4 years old. And then from piano, I learned all the instruments. I can play bass, drums, guitar. I can even play sax, a little bit of trumpet if I needed to. But I can't sing. I sing in the shower and it turns off. It's like, no, dude, no singing.
Oh my God.
So I'm always jealous of people that can sing. And I think your friend Allie, right? She was on The Voice recently. She has a great voice as well, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, she was on The Voice. She's the youngest in the whole series to make it to the top 9. She's 17.
That's crazy. They start them so young now.
Yeah, Allegra's like my best friend ever too. So I was like, there's videos of me on my story highlights. I have like a BFF highlight, and there's a video of me sobbing, and she was just talking about her hometown. I was like, But yeah, we support each other a lot. I was like really excited that she was on The Voice. I've gotten asked a couple times to be on, but I just have taken different opportunities, wanted to keep it more chill and see where I can take myself rather than, being on TV and stuff like that.
And kind of to that end, as great as it is and you get a lot of exposure, they own you. And then, even the winners, a year later, you never hear from them. I think you made a smart decision.
Yeah, because I was so nervous that she would win because she's so absolutely insanely
She's so
talented.
good.
And
Mhm.
but you can Google any of the past winners, and the only things that would come up are the voice, like their name, like that's their way of like branding you.
Mhm.
And even when you're on The Voice, you're not allowed to post covers, you're not allowed to release your own music. Like
Yep.
there's so many like strict guidelines, and I think that like it would be worse than good to like win because it would just put you in a position to where you can't get away from it. What I heard from Allegra is that like the winner from last year, I think, or last season, um, they requested to put her on a different label or have a different deal because the typical deal like is so strict, like you can't release music whenever you want, like it has
Right.
to be on their time, and it doesn't give you any creative liberty, like it'll only give you the name, but like
Mhm.
you may not feel like yourself as an artist. And um so I've heard people like have asked for different deals when they win just because like, or like they'll take money rather than the deal or whatever. I don't know what the insides of it are, but it's just not getting to know the artist as a person. It's just getting them for their name and their brand, and that's it.
Right.
So
Do you think it's tougher being a female in this industry? Because, like you said, there's a lot of people that will gravitate towards you for your looks or because they think they can brand you, and then the music kind of falls to the wayside. Have you noticed any of that, or do you personally feel that pressure just subconsciously?
maybe a little bit just because I am like a lot younger than people think I am. People offer to buy me drinks all the time, think I'm over 21 and stuff like that. Then like at the moment they find out I'm 18, they're like, "Oh my god, you're so cute." And like we were having an adult ass conversation 5 seconds ago. Like but yeah, I think I definitely can sense the pressure. Like I haven't experienced a ton of it. I obviously do, you know, get a little self-conscious sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried like creating a persona of myself, like, and trying to build my stage presence in general, just
Mm-hmm.
because, that's what attracts people. Like, if Logan Rex, she sometimes wears wigs on stage, like, that's not quite me, and like the sparkles, like, but she completely rocks it. And I just want to find like my space in myself to be able to portray myself as a unique person, I guess. And, I sometimes wear the same jeans to every gig, so I'm still kind of trying to, I don't know, find my stage presence a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, like I'm like get freaked out talking in front of people, especially on stage.
Yeah.
I'll write a script in my head, and then I'll go to say it and it'll come out all backwards and stuff like that. So
Oh
it's a
yeah.
work in progress, but I've definitely improved over the couple years that I've been gigging out. But yeah, it just takes time. Just like an example of how I've like come out of my shell a little bit. At my release party on Saturday, I let my drummer take a solo, and I took off my guitar and everything, and I ran out into the crowd, and I walked across tables, fist bumped everybody, like tried to like get people connected to me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because my sax player does that all the time. He does like wireless miking on his sax, and he like runs out and plays in the crowd and stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna pull a Monty right now, and I walk across the tables, walk across the crowd. Like I didn't expect the turnout that I got. It was maybe 100 to 200 people there. It was
That's
a great
awesome.
turnout. So I tried to like, connect with as many of them as I could in that short amount of time before I had to run back on stage. But that's just like an example of like how I'm trying to like be more personable with my audience, because that's what makes people remember the show and like remember
Mm-hmm.
you, because that's you're connecting with them personally.
Definitely. And you do a great job. So we talked about a little bit before, but you have that single coming out, a deep dive through Ineffable.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the song and what it's about, or kind of how it came to be.
So it already came out on August 14th. And the song itself, like I don't remember the writing process, but I remember like coming to the realization of what it means to me. Um I knew that I wanted to somewhat write a reggae song, but I'm not like 100% reggae. So I kind of tried to keep it indie but reggae at the same time. I get a lot of like questions like who's the he in the song, who's it about? And the he in the song is actually courage. So I kind of personified the what character trait, emotion or whatever of courage, and it's just kind of about jumping into opportunities that maybe someone else has not wanted me to or was apprehensive to letting me go through or whatever. I've had a lot of people like say like, oh, like maybe that's not a good idea, or you know, stuff like that. So like deep dive, like the lyrics in the chorus, like they told me to stay but I want to fly, like that's kind of what that lyric means. And then as far as like getting Ineffable's attention, like I said before, like thanks to Collybuds for that. I actually almost released the song independently, like by myself, like paid for the distribution and everything. And then I was like, maybe I should reach out to them one more time because we had lost touch. And so I texted Adam one more time. I was like, look, like I'm about to release this song by myself. I wanted to know if you wanted it just one last time in case you do, like let's get on this. And we did, and we filled out what we needed to fill out for it and got it rolling. And yeah, they were a huge help. Like we're almost at 10,000 streams just on Spotify.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm actually their very first artist they've worked with that has never released music before. So that was a risk that they were willing to take for me, and I'm honored. Like I've never felt so welcomed into a group of people before. Like even all the Facebook groups for the different bands and even the managers of other bands and people in other bands have been completely welcoming to me. And yeah, so it is all new to me because every conversation I've had with Adam, I've been like, so like, can you walk me through this? Like I've never done this before. And he'll kind of chuckle and be like, yep. So it's kind of a cool experience because I get to see the inner workings of all the stuff that I've been on the outside of for so long and wanted to be, you know, in knowledge of.
Can we listen to a little bit of it?
Yeah, of course.
And show the people? Cool. Okay, so here's Sierra's new single, Deep Dive. It's out through Ineffable right now.
Take my hand, he said, I'll show you wildest dreams. Close your eyes, he said, and open up your mind. Take deeper breaths, be in sync with your soul. Or the pressure will swallow you whole. They told me to stay, but I want to fly. Adventure is out there and this is my time. He said I'll be with you and I'll never tell you goodbye. I've shown what awaits, now going deep dive, deep dive.
So yeah, that's really cool. Really nice vibe. Really great vocals. I like how it kind of starts off indie and then gets into a little bit of the reggae. Very good
Yeah.
single.
Thank you. Yeah, my sax player is like his part in there is like super like cool, and I didn't really like notice what he was playing until like we started recording and stuff. Because we would play it live all the time. We already knew all of our parts. But it was kind of like we knew our parts, but not exactly what we were playing. So we kind of were rewriting the parts as we were recording it.
Right.
But yeah, and like the little embellishments that Derek does, like in the second verse, there's like a thing that he does with his lead guitar, and it's like super super cool, and I'm so blessed to have my band the band that I do, because they're all older than me, and they're all completely insanely talented, and
Just pros.
yeah, such pros.
Yeah. No, I love it. I've checked out the band too. I think I follow your drummer on Instagram as well, and very very impressed with everything that you guys are doing. That's great. I try to keep it upbeat, but we're going through some crazy times right now with everything
Yeah.
going on in our society. COVID, and then Black Lives Matters and stuff like that. What are your thoughts, if any, of everything going on, or is this something you try and block out and just focus on the music?
Yeah, it's not that I like block it out to focus on music. I like kind of like use my music to, shine
Mm-hmm.
a light on it,
Mm-hmm.
kind of is how I see it. Cause when, quarantine was happening here, cause everything's open now.
Right.
I did live streams almost every day. I know some of my friends like consistently did a live stream every single day. Like my friend Summer Gill, shout out to Summer, she's awesome. But
Summer, yeah.
yeah, so it's been like really cool how everyone's been coming together, especially in the music scene, especially with Black Lives Matter and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just it really proves that like music is a universal language that everyone knows, regardless if they play an instrument or sing or not. Like it's just a very powerful tool. And as far as like COVID, I think that people down here are kind of stupid with it, because we're already open, like people are going to school,
That's
um
crazy.
stuff. It's absolutely insane. And I try to take as many precautions as I can. I wear my mask, because I don't, I recently had strep, and I'm like, how the heck did I get strep right now? Like, come on, I'm wearing my
Right.
mask, other people are wearing my masks. Like, I don't know, social distancing's been really bad down here, but I'm blessed to have like everything open too at the same time.
Mm-hmm. To play
I've
gigs and stuff.
Yeah, I think September is like probably my busiest month I've had it since June or July.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so I'm booked consistently this month, which is like completely a blessing. But I know that some other people are struggling, especially my friends out of state. They're just like, "How are you gigging right now?" And I'm like, "Come to Florida, come gig with me." Like,
Yeah.
it's a vibe down here.
I got into business and I got my degrees in business because I specifically was sick of like any job. If you think of any job you've ever had, and there's always like that one manager who is just not qualified to be a manager. So, because they've been there for 13 years. So they get put in a position of power. Or like even we were talking about, you'll meet people in our industry that maybe have been around for a while, but it's all about the bottom line for them, or it's all about what you can do to fill their pockets, or it's not what's best for the artist per se.
Yeah.
And I got into business just because I was so sick of working for people that were unqualified, that couldn't just, you know, do things the right way. I really, really believe in not cutting corners and not, you know, I don't know. That's the way I was raised. That's how my mom raised me. And I just believe in supporting artists. And if you do what's best for the artist, the bottom line will come no matter what. Now, it also goes into the artist putting in the effort and putting in the work. I understand that artists' job is to think short term because, a lot of this pays for a lot of people's bills. Or at least they're trying to get to that point where it can pay, your bills. You're so lucky that, again, you've worked with, you've had the mentorship of like Jacob, and you're working with Ineffable, and they're all just top quality people.
Yeah, they are. And like again, like I'm completely, honored to have them take a risk on me, because I'm not bringing them any money, at least not
Right.
right now. So it's like it's so like welcoming to know that they have a gut feeling about me, and like they
Hmm.
want to do this with me, and it's just really awesome. And one thing I've learned from them is like down the road when I'm doing shows and stuff, it's like you don't necessarily want to take the show with the most money. You want to take the show that's like
Right.
better in quality, because that'll take you farther than the money will.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how I've seen it too. Like my very very first drummer I ever had, this is when I was very beginning stages of gigging, you know, he would ask before saying yes to every gig, like, what am I getting paid? And at first it bothered me because it was kind of like, I'm doing this for fun right now. I'm just
Right.
trying to get my foot in the door. I can't pay you as much as you need me to right now. You know, because I wasn't in it for the money, and I am a little bit now, obviously, because I do need to start making
Of
money, and
course.
I eventually don't want to work at a restaurant job anymore,
I
and
feel
stuff.
you.
So it is getting to the point where I need to like take the business and money side more seriously, but at the same time, like I keep it consistent with like how much I do shows that, you know, I find a balance in between doing shows that are worth it mentally and career wise, and then shows that are worth it, you know, money wise. So I feel like there should be a healthy balance, and it shouldn't just be about one or the other. Um, so yeah, that's just like kind of how I see it.
Every time there's like a crazy news headline, I don't even have to hear like where I know automatically like man gets face ripped out, like homeless man eats another person's, you know, face. He was and like all these crazy storyline. I'm like, that's Florida. Do you notice that, or is it
Dude, yeah,
normal for
make
you because
memes
you're used to
about
it?
people make memes about all the Florida headlines, or like Florida man or whatever. And like sometimes I can't tell if I feel special that everyone's talking about where I live, or if
Right.
I feel like scared for where I live, you know?
Yeah.
um, but it's a good thing. It's mostly like the northern-ish parts of Florida, or super like Everglades,
West
Florida.
or yeah, like
We're kind
Pensacola.
Yeah, we're kind of in the middle of all of it. We're in the more, you know, I hate to say it, but like higher end of Florida. Jupiter
Yeah.
is super rich, and
Mm-hmm.
like I drive up Jupiter Island to go to Hope Sound sometimes, and you know, some of these houses are absolutely insane. Palm Beach Island, can't even imagine, you know, having that much money, because some of these people
Mm-hmm.
have like $60 million homes and then have a yacht, and the yacht itself is worth a $60 million home, if not more.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like, how do you have that much money, and like what do you do with it? So um yeah, it's just crazy to see, because like I obviously, like I live in a townhouse, and it's crazy to see the levels, like the different levels of where people live in Florida is crazy, because you'll drive down a really sketchy part of the neighborhood one moment, and then get into mansions the next moment, and
Yep.
you know, it's just cool, but how we all coexist too. So it's just a very diverse place, and cultures, and you know, wealth and class, and it's an interesting place to live. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah. No, that's very similar to Baltimore, and that's why I love Baltimore. Plus, we're close. Like, if you're a touring musician, you could do a whole tour just in the Northeast and not even go like 2,000 miles. Like, you can go like you could do like 12 gigs in from like here up to New York and Boston, like no problem. So, I love living up here, and it's very similar. Like my neighborhood, we have like the Ravens players and rich people if you just go this way, and then even down that way I have like sketchy apartments, but then we also
Yeah.
have like a big Jewish population. So it's really funny because they have that saying, if you go up Reisterstown Road, which is like the main kind of road in our town that goes up through Pikesville and Owings Mills, you go from like the ghetto to like a very highly Jewish area.
Yeah.
So it's very different, but that's why I love that too. And this is your first podcast, right?
Yeah, I've never done anything like this before. So thank you for introducing me into the world of podcasts.
No, thank you so much for coming on. I'm actually honored that this was your first one. I notice the older I get, I turn more into my dad too. It's like that commercial. And I'll say stuff and I'm like, well, back in the day, we didn't we didn't have all this electronics. I was a plug and play guy my whole life, you know, and then I feel like such a douche.
Yeah, like I'll text random like super dumb jokes to my grandpa so that he can
Oh,
tell them his like business meetings and stuff like that. So we keep it real with the dad jokes, and you know, that's my humor, either sarcasm or like really punny jokes like that. Like here's one. Which is heavier, a gallon of water or a gallon of butane?
I don't know.
Butane, because it's lighter fluid. Yeah,
But
that's
ching. There you go.
there
See,
you
that's
go.
why I'm not good at the production stuff. I really wish I was better because like when I'm in the moment, I'm trying to concentrate on the conversation, so I kind of
Yeah.
forget about all this stuff. But I have so many good like little things I could use and I never do. But I can tell, you know what's funny? You're talking about talking with your grand. You seem so grounded, and I bet you a lot of that has to do with your family. I've met more of your family since I've posted this, from them commenting on posts or messaging me and asking me questions about the podcast. And I thought it was so cute because I think it was your grandmother. She was like, "Hi, this is Sierra's Mimi. I was just wondering how I can find the podcast." And I was like, she's the cutest woman ever. I love that.
She'll like message venues and be like, "Get Sierra Lane back there," or something like
That's
that.
so cool.
But yeah, like I gave her one of my T-shirts that I have. I have merch now, so you know, if you guys want to order merch, just DM me. But
Yeah, and I'll definitely grab something off the store, or I'll just grab one from you later after this and send you some money. And then we'll also have your Venmo up or PayPal when this comes out. So please, if you're out there and you support and you like deep dive or anything like that, or just want to support local artists that are really, you know, working hard and doing big things, please think about, even if you thought the podcast sucked, please think about donating.
Yeah, no, that would be a huge help. But yeah, I gave her the shirt and she immediately put it on and was like, "Yeah, go Sierra Lane." It was so cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But we have stickers now too and stuff. They kind of look like the Santa Cruz logo, but I'm okay with that. But
I like heavier music, I guess. I'm into a little bit more of a heavier thing. I grew up listening to like 90s rock and classic music, like the Beatles, the Doors, the Who, and then punk rock, like Green Day and stuff was big influence on me. And the older I get, I'm just like, man, kids just are not into the music or things that I was into, and I feel so old now. But I love reggae. Don't get me wrong; it's just not my first genre. But that's why I enjoy unique artists. And even in the rock scene, punk scene, I like bands that stand out. You know.
no, I'm like the same way. I actually got into music and playing guitar because of Green Day, like specifically.
Yes.
And so like I played metal all the way up until like my sophomore year of high school. And so I've only been like venturing out into other genres for 3 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And so I, you know, during quarantine I did a week where I went back to my roots and I did a week of metal covers that I just posted on my story.
I love that.
Like I'm not even like I'm personally connected to reggae, but not in like the sense of my music. Like I'm definitely an indie artist, but I love reggae, and an opportunity opened up for me. And a friend of mine told me like, if you have an opportunity in front of you, take it. And if it's like, but only if it's like legit and obviously like good and you feel good in your soul about it. And you know, I met all these people that I've, you know, a couple people I've loved listening to, a couple people, you know, I haven't spoken to directly, but they know about me, which is crazy that I've looked up to a lot. And I'm like, look, if I'm gonna, you know, get my music out there and I'm gonna affect people, which is my whole point of doing music, like reaching the people, I might as well take this opportunity. And you know what Ineffable told me was that like they've listened to some of my other stuff I have recorded, and it's not completely reggae, and one of them is a complete indie song, like Two Door Cinema Club, maybe like Vampire Weekend vibes. And they said this would totally be good for the audience that likes deep dive, but to start, like maybe do stuff that's more for the demographic that you've opened a door in. And so I'm in the works of writing a couple more reggae songs or reggae inspired songs to get out there, to get people get my music more noticeable. That's what I'm trying to say. But you know, they're completely open to helping me out with my indie stuff as well, because, you know, it is a part of me and they want me to release music that comes from my soul. And like my song Insomnia that we have recorded is from my soul, but it's not reggae at all. So it's just kind of like a thing where I don't put myself in a box and I just take all the opportunities I can get, regardless if writing reggae music is something that I like literally want to pour my soul into, which is what I want to do for the music itself, but it may not be my particular style. So that was my TED talk on me not being
That's great. I'll have to clip that out and then we'll post it up. See how many, we'll probably get a ton of views for that. Anytime someone says something negative about me or anyone, or you see it blasted all over the internet. I assume it's usually more a reflection of how they feel about themselves or the things they're going through, or maybe what their part in this whole shenanigan was, you know?
Yeah, like even from a young age, like I've corrected my dad if he ever said anything that was like wrong. I'm like, hey, like they're a person too. Like don't put them
Yeah.
down. Like just because they are gay or something like that, or they think this way, like they're not. That doesn't mean maybe they're like a bad person in general. Some
Hmm.
people can be just because of their beliefs in something, but if you don't know that side of them, you have no right to judge them. And it's better to I can't even comprehend someone being mean to someone just
Yeah.
for who they love or what they believe in, or even the color of their skin, like going back to the Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter thing. Like I just don't comprehend it at all. I'm just like, how do you feel that way about someone you don't even know? So it's just a mess of a world. And even in the industry too, like there could be so many miscommunicated things and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of it's miscommunication too, for sure.
Totally, like all these people getting canceled, like all these YouTubers that
Oh
are
my
getting canceled
goodness.
right now. How are they? Why are people digging up stuff from their past too? Like
Yeah.
they're going deep into like their old videos and stuff, just digging it up and not going based on who they are and as a person now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like from those bad videos that they dug up, I feel like if they're different now, they've grown as a person, and I have no
Right.
right to cancel them. Like,
I think it's more important about your growth, not being perfect all the time, you know, becoming a better person.
yeah.
The only person I don't like on YouTube is Jake Paul because he's done some crazy shit that I'm just like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
But
Not a
yeah,
fan.
the whole PC cancel culture, it's just, I actually, one of my friends' podcasts, him and his group, it's kind of a network of podcasts, and they have like 3 of them. And I went on theirs, and the specific topic that night was cancel culture. And again, I believe in treating people with respect, but then it annoys me. People are like sitting online, and that's another reason I have to get off social media because like I might not even be involved with the thing, but just seeing it, just seeing 2 people argue gives me anxiety. I'm like, oh, why are you
Like
guys arguing?
half the stuff going on in cancel culture, I hear about it. I'm just like, okay, like you're gonna, like you said earlier, you're gonna look at the world right now and see everything going on, and then put your effort into like deliberately searching up dirt on someone to bash them
Yeah,
for no reason. So it's just kind of like, and even some of it was triggered by it. Like I know that Shane
yeah.
Dawson like said racial slurs or something, like, and did blackface like a really long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But he's obviously grown from that now, and like Black Lives Matter did bring that up because they're trying to find out if someone else is racist or not. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just something that doesn't make sense to me. And mind your own business, honestly.
Yeah. Why is it so difficult not just to be like, just not care about what other people are doing unless it affects you. Now, I don't stand for racism or anything. I don't, I think it's good to speak up against that. But in general, I don't understand why we concentrate so much on other people.
Yeah, totally.
It's so weird. And that's again the whole no following thing is it's like don't worry about what other people are doing and not in a negative way. It's more in a make sure you're doing what you need to do before you're sitting there casting a stone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like obviously like I'm a human too, and I like catch myself like
Yeah.
thinking in my head, oh, like why would like he or she post that? But then I'm
Yeah.
like, it's dumb. Like I don't care why they posted it or what they're posting. They're
Mhm.
doing them, and that's all I can do for myself is I can, you do you, boo, like that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know you got the food and stuff like that. But one last question we'll get into. Have you gotten into any hobbies or shows or anything else that you normally wouldn't have with this time? Because, well, you're playing a lot, but I'm sitting at home and I just watched Cobra Kai the other day and it ended up being a really good series. It was kind of slow starting off, but I'm starting to watch a lot of shows while I'm editing and stuff that I normally wouldn't watch.
Yeah, I recently hopped on the Great British Baking Show
Oh,
bandwagon.
yes.
I
Yes.
love that show so much. It relieves my stress and anxiety
Mm-hmm.
because like normal Food Network shows in America, it's so dramatic. Like, oh my
Or it's a
God, my muffin.
competition or something, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, and then this one is just kind of like if something like happens, they're just like, oh well, that's a pity, like you know. And like I've only seen a handful of the contestants cry about like losing or something, but it's so relaxing to watch because they have like the peaceful music and like it's
Right.
just a good show. What else have I been watching? I restarted the Kardashians. Like I started from the beginning. I'm on season 8 now.
That's a
I don't
lot of I can only handle so much Kardashians in a
know a lot of
week.
Kardashians, but I'll like put it on and then also like scroll Pinterest or something while I'm watching it.
Hmm.
I, I don't know. I've like been wanting to see like because I didn't know anything about like a whole lot about them until like they just started becoming who they are and like Kylie and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
so I wanted to see like where they like how they led up to these points. And I don't know. It's interesting to me. It may not
Yeah.
be for everybody, but I like watching the Kardashians. It's funny. It's like also like a different lifestyle that I'll never have. So it's like kind of like interesting to see like the night and day
Would
contrast
you
from
even
how
want to have that lifestyle though? It just seems like so much stress. Like even if I was a millionaire, I would have a smaller house, like a lot of land, and then try and
like
stick to myself, you know?
totally. I'm not a materialistic person, but there is one thing that I want at one point in my life, and that's like a big, nice house, you know?
Hmm.
Like, I don't care about money, and obviously I'd need it to get to that point of owning a house like
Right.
that. That's just what I see. Like, I just find it just because I do live in, I'm grateful and I love my house that I live in, but, it's kind of like, always been a thing that I find satisfying to look at. I love looking at big houses. I love just
Hmm.
seeing the space and stuff like that. But I would never want to have like a lifestyle of just like, you know, going on a yacht every day or something like that, or
Or
taking
even the celebrity lifestyle. Like, yeah, you want
yeah,
to be like well
paparazzi. Like
known, but
just went to go get frozen yogurt and she was being hounded down by paparazzi. Like, come on, like let it.
I couldn't
I
do it.
I'd want to enjoy my frozen yogurt in peace. Like
Hmm.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
Speaking of houses, one thing, if I have the ability to make my own house, to build my own house, or even if I had one already, something that probably wouldn't be too tough to put in. I've always wanted the office, like I have a separate studio and stuff, but I would always want an office with like the bookshelves and stuff, with all the classics and stuff like that, and all my business stuff.
Mhm.
But I want that hidden door. I want the hidden door you can pull
Oh,
the book, and I want to build in like hallways in the walls where you can get around the house without like actually walking, have like hidden hallways and stuff like that. But you would pull a book and the door would open Batman style, and it'd be like one of those spiral staircases that go down into like a chill room where we can smoke and watch TV or do whatever, and then have only one exit from there that like leads out to like a shed or something. It'd be so much fun, and they're really not hard to put. It's just a covered staircase,
exactly.
to a degree. So
No, like that's like a cool concept too. Like
yeah.
I didn't even know those like existed in real life until like I started watching like home videos or home travel shows or whatever.
Right.
Like I didn't even think that was like an actual thing. And when I saw it for the first time in an actual house, I was like, yo, that's awesome.
Do
No, like we'll do an HGTV show that's like kind of like a joke, but not really. We'll just like go and like rate big houses in a funny way or something like that. Like just
Yeah.
like make it a lighthearted thing. Like bring memes into it too. Like just make it like completely outrageous.
Whatever I would do, because I like it used to be like the DIY network, but my favorite show is not Flip or Flop. The other one with the Asian woman and the guy from Texas.
Isn't that called Flip or Flop?
No, that's the other one. I'm trying Magno. Let me see. Let me look it up real quick. That's why I have this shit. I don't know why I don't use this more often. It's like I have this.
I think I saw them on your Instagram.
Yes, yeah, I posted them. So, who owns
Oh,
Magnolia?
Chip and Joanna.
Chip, yes. But what was their show called? I forget what their show was called. Fixer Upper. That's what it
Yeah.
is. I love that show because their family's so cute, and then
Yeah.
like they do really classic, clean designs, and they're just good people. So now that they started their own network and they're literally in charge of all the programming, I'm like, that would be the perfect network for me.
Yeah. No, I love to see how like sometimes they do act out like some of the scenes
Oh yeah,
just for
it's scripted.
content. It's so funny to see their scripted acting. It's like you can totally tell,
Yep.
but it's also like good and like heartwarming at the same time.
Yeah. Another show, real quick, that we were talking about, the British Cook Off on. Is that on Netflix or also,
Yeah,
or
it's on-
yeah, okay. Another one you should check out is Rust Valley Restoration or Restorers. It
yeah.
is so funny. Me and Robbie, who's Pepper's friend of the house, he came
Yeah.
in. He came in. He lives like 20 minutes away from me, so he came in here and we were hanging out. And all we do is watch Rust Valley Restore. I'm not a big car guy, but it's funny because they're Canadian. It's about these two Canadians who live in like this dirt, like this redneck kind of valley with
Yeah.
all these like classic cars. And this guy has over 400 like cars that he restores and tries to sell. And it's so funny because they'll be arguing and they're like the nicest people. So they're like arguing in a nice way. And the
Yeah.
one guy has, let me see if I can look up a clip real quick because this guy is so funny.
Riding along in my automobile.
So yeah, he's all this property with all these different things. But this guy's
It's a
voice,
Studebaker, Silverhawk, Golden Hawk.
and when he gets really
Chicken Hawk,
excited,
I don't know, it's some
it goes
kind of
really
hawk.
high and
Yeah.
loud.
Beautiful.
Well, today we're gonna try cutting this hawk in half to hang on Mike's wall as a surprise for him.
I think it's a great idea. I've never seen another shop that has half a car up on the wall. Do you think Mike's gonna be okay with this being chopped up, put on the wall?
Probably not. Mike has a special place in his heart
Mike
for
has
every
a-
single one of these cars.
When they argue, his
That's
voice
what's
gets
a
so
little bit
high. I was trying to find an
different.
argument
Just
between the
kinda thinking,
two
how
of
lucky
them.
would it be if the keys were in there?
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, you never
Yeah,
know.
he
You
sounds
got a
like
better
a
chance of finding a
cartoon.
garden gnome than finding the
Yes, that's exactly what Robbie said. He was like,
Try to line it right up with the
Yeah.
cut in the trunk.
dude, this guy is like a total character, you know?
Really, like, be a voice actor if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, I just feel bad because we got lost in conversation, and I know when we started, she was like, "Yeah, I ordered food," so I want to, I want to let you get to that. But thank you so much for coming on.
It was great getting to know you too, and like, yeah, even though this is my first podcast, it's been my favorite so far. So
That'll change the next one you do. You're like, "Oh, this was my favorite podcast."
I'll have something to compare it to, and then I'll like get back to you with the results. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, and it was a lot easier talking to you than I thought it'd be. Not
Oh yeah.
personally, but just because of my fear of talking in front of people.
Mhm.
But yeah, thank you so much, and I had a really good time, and we'll keep in touch about other things. And
Of course.
yeah,
Definitely. Well, if you guys are out there, is there anything like, do you have a website yet or anything like that, or just the Instagrams and stuff?
but I think it's down right now. I
Mhm.
have like paid my Wix thing, so
I didn't. I'm the same thing. I was like, there's no point in having a website right now.
yeah,
It's
so
just money out of your pocket.
Yeah, Sierra Lane Music for Instagram, Facebook. I technically have a TikTok, but I've only posted one thing.
I don't get TikTok. It's just what you're just doing, like clips of dances you're doing, and they're not even great dances. Like I'm seeing these people do weird things.
Vine.
It's what?
It's kind of like Vine, but like not as original and stuff like that.
I'm like,
Like,
can't
it's
we
a lot-
already do that? Like, can't we already do that in stories and do it on Facebook and
Yeah,
Instagram?
and now Instagram just came out with Reels because Trump was like, we're banning TikTok. And so Instagram came out with a feature that's exactly like TikTok. Like
Oh, right.
So I don't know, but yeah. Then I have a YouTube, which you already pulled up. I don't know why I had to think about that.
Yeah, let me see.
But it's right there. It's literally, I'm pointing to my YouTube. But yeah, I have a Q&A there. Go check out my Q&A. But yeah, that's about it. If you want merch, order my merch on DMs because I don't have like them up on a website. But yeah, for all of y'all listening or watching, you can do that.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much again, and we will definitely talk soon.
Yeah, definitely. You too. It was great talking to you. I'll talk to you soon.